But first, a little bit about me. My name is Morgan. I've been in marketing and social media now for over 5 years. I've worked with hundreds of business owners and entrepreneurs, providing them strategic services to help grow their business. And I've worked with Progreda now for over a year. That's a little bit about me professionally. What you don't see on the screen is I have a cute little boy. He just turned 2, so love spending all my extra time with him, hiking, traveling with my husband and son, and we are movie gurus, so we love watching movies. Now becoming a parent, it's not as easy to sit down and watch a movie, but we still love it. What we're going to do and what I kind of highlighted in the very beginning is we're actually going to do a quick recap of sort of what we've learned from the beginning to the end. So first recap we're going to do is advertising. So we're going to visit some of those areas that we learned last time, and then we'll move into social media. Advertising. So there's many forms to advertising. Most popular forms are digital, of course. You have other traditional forms of marketing like radio, TV, broadcast, but we're going to recap on digital advertising. So platforms such as Meta, TikTok, X or Twitter, LinkedIn, Google, and then traditional commercials, radio, and like a billboard ad and products. So those are the forms of advertising that you will find people use. In today's world, we're shifting way more to a digital presence. So really relying on that Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Google. We also talked about 6 pillars of attention that I wanted to hone in on again. So understanding sort of where we're at of how to grab someone's attention. The 6 are inclusion, help, new, reward, status, and emotion. So we're going to dive in very quickly to each of these pillars again and kind of give you some examples of what each of those pillars of attention is. Emotions. So emotions, they're there to evoke emotions with your consumers. So up to 95% of purchases are made from the stomach and heart. Emotions can range from happy, humor, anger, sadness. When we buy, we do it moved by emotion. And in most cases, there's a justification behind it. We know that emotion is the biggest driver for justification. So we can see a range here. We have Flow from Progressive, that's that humor, sort of happy side. We have Coca-Cola, we have Nike, we have a sad ad here. So really showing you how broad you can be within the emotional pillar here. Again, if you're trying to evoke emotion and that best aligns with what your product or offer is, this is a great form of attention grabbing that you can do within your audience. The next one is status. So these are people that like to show off what they have, something they can use to your advantage. They want to stand out. So think of designer clothing is a great example. Status can be everything to people, and especially with influencers on the rise, people are yearning for luxurious, big, new. So from luxurious brands to high-end apparel, this strategy can be very effective in showcasing what you have if this is the sort of product that you have. So this is actually an example brand that I worked with. They're a luxury shoe brand. So you can see some really nice photos of the shoes, a nice little teaser of some of the shoes here. So just showing off how you can wear them with like any style, how they're cute, fun. And so this is an example of how we're using status to try and evoke someone to purchase luxurious shoes that are affordable. The other one is new. So this is to spark interest in your customer, offering them something new or surprising. New is an easy, quick way to regain or gain new interest. So whether you're expanding to a new offer, new service, or product, or maybe you're going to heavily discount or bring something back. This can be a great way to capture new leads and get your current customers to buy more from you. And just know, caveat, Progreda can help with blasting out all your new products to all your current leads in the system. So it's a really great way, sort of that mid to bottom funnel cycle here. But here's some examples we can see. So furniture has a new collection. There's a new iMac, and the nacho fries are back at Taco Bell. I actually love those. Taco Bell is should not be as good as it is, in my opinion. So next one is inclusion. So this is a great option when you want to make your consumers, your followers, your leads part of your brand. So a great one is like adding them to a VIP list, for example. So here are some examples. Also great if you have a coaching service, a course, webinar, membership, reward system. You can see here's a text of like, go VIP today. You're an unclaimed VIP. Join the membership. You get free gifts, exclusive discounts, first access to events, and more. So again, a really great strategy for kind of that mid end of funnel. You could technically do this in the beginning of the funnel, but this is more to help strengthen the relationships of your current buyers and consumers that are already bought in, making them feel even more included into the brand versus really starting at the top. So I wouldn't recommend starting at the top, although it's an option. I definitely recommend more of that mid funnel, end of funnel approach here. Reward. So reward your consumers when they're frequent buyers. Show them they're appreciated. A good example of that is giving them something extra after every X amount of purchase. So here are some examples of that. Starbucks, I use their reward system all the time. It's very sad. But you can also give 20, get 20. You have the Domino's reward. So again, another strategy where I think this is great. This could actually be like top of funnel, also mid and funnel. Top of funnel, you could be more strategic with hey, we offer a reward. And then the mid funnel and funnel could be, hey, did you know, like, if you purchase X amount more, you get this reward. So you can be strategic in how you approach where you're trying to, where you're at, where the lead is at in their customer journey with you. Next one is help. So make their life easier, offer them a solution, offer them something useful. So how is this going to help solve a challenge, pain, goal, or need? Highlight what they're missing. What's the value and benefit going to be for them? So here's some examples. 3 reasons why your contracting isn't making as much money. Manage your chronic pain. Here's a prescription for menopausal women. We're going to help you with your brain fog, for example. So all of these ads are offering something, a solution to a current problem or goal that they're wanting to achieve or problem that they're facing. So once we kind of understand all of those pillars, the next step that we're going to want to take is creating an offer. So when we're creating an offer, there are some pillars that we want to keep in mind, some questions. So how to choose what pillar to use. So we can think of how does it benefit the type of consumer. Obviously, we know not all pillars are going to be suitable for every type of consumer. Again, the reward strategy isn't as applicable to a first-time buyer as it is to drive consumers further down the funnel. Yet we often see a lot of the times that is the communication style for first-time buyers. Secondly, why does it stick? You need to think of consumers first and base your decisions on the things that make them different. So put yourself in your consumer's shoes. Most of the time in this oversaturated world of digital, they're being attacked in so many different ways. Algorithms are very good at picking up what end consumer likes. The problem is not putting it in front of them. It's making them start to react to what you have to say. So a lot of the times a great strategy is putting yourself in their shoes and asking yourself, why is it valuable to them? What makes me different from anyone else, and why should they buy from me? And these pillars can help you be more strategic in that approach. And then which values are important. So again, what is this going to help? How is this going to help them? at the end of the day. So these are really great questions to be asking to help you kind of craft that perfect offer and how you're going to want to go to market through advertising efforts. Oh, and when are consumers sharing your brand story? So that's another great one too. This goes along with reputation management, which later on we'll kind of dive in a little bit deeper into as well. We're also going to replay the video on how to use Progreda to track your ads inside of Progreda. I thought that'd be helpful to kind of revisit that and kind of walk you through that. So I'm going to play that now. If you cannot hear the audio, please let me know in the chat. All right, so now we're going to
I can't hear nothing.
Okay, no one was able to hear the audio. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna stop my screen share really quickly and share it again and see. Okay, yep, I didn't have the share sound clicked. All right, let's try that again from Progreda with. All right, let me know again if you. All right, so now we're going to discuss how to utilize Progreda for advertising. So, like I discussed just a second ago, you have two options for advertising as far as how you want to capture your lead. So, do you want to do a form inside of Facebook, or do you want to do a landing page in Progreda with an embedded form where people submit their information? So, I'm going to walk you through both options and how to do it inside of Progreda. So, inside of Progreda, if you go down to settings and click on that, scroll down, you'll find the integrations button on your left hand side. In here, this is the integrations page. You can see here in this example, Facebook has expired. So you'll want to connect your Facebook. When you do that, it's going to pop up on your Facebook. You're going to select the right Facebook page and advertising that you want here.
An apple pecan.
When you do connect that, you can come over here to Facebook form fields mapping. You're going to see a little error pop up. That's okay. Basically what it's going to do is the form that we just created inside of the ads would be here, the name of it would be here, and essentially you're just mapping over the fields. So remember I just showed you how we're going to change it to first name, last name, email, and phone number that we want to capture inside the ad. You're telling Progreda that you want those custom fields mapped over. So you want to map over that person's first name, last name, email, and phone number to match Progreda's fields. So that's really what form field mapping is. It's essential that you come over here and map that information over because some people want to qualify certain individuals before they actually reach out. So maybe you ask a couple of different questions to really identify key areas that would make them a good fit or solution for whatever you're offering. So with that being said, you can also come in here and create those custom fields and map them inside of Progreda. So it's really important that you do that first if you're going to be doing a form inside of Facebook. So that's option one. Once you're done with this, you're going to head over to automations. You're going to start a new automation from scratch. I'm going to walk you very quickly 1,000-foot view on automation. So you have your triggers and then your little plus signs are your actions. So we obviously want to know when someone submits a Facebook form. So we're going to type in Facebook. We're going to select that. If I were to leave this here and let's just say it multiple ads, multiple forms, that would mean any Facebook form that gets submitted, all those actions are going to occur. So we always want to filter set. We want to identify the form that we're doing. The other thing, this is a really just preference for me. I'm really big on naming conventions. Put your form name here so that way when you're coming in here to look quickly, if you have to edit or add, you know exactly where the form is. Same for your naming convention of the automation. So this would be Facebook lead form name, and then we're going to send out SMS, email, and maybe tag the contact. So be sure to really structure your names so that way it's really easy to edit, tweak, and find the automations for future reference. So once you have that trigger, you're going to obviously add actions. There's so many different actions that can occur, whether it's you're adding a contact tag. So this is a really great option when you are doing multiple different lead forms. So you'll want to do Facebook lead ad. So that way you can at a later date see how many leads came from advertising, from social, from maybe a webinar or networking or whatever the case may be. It's really easy to differentiate where your leads came from. That way you can make future business decisions when it comes to your next round and where you want to put your dollars. The other thing that you can do is communicate. So sending out emails, SMS, messenger DMs, however you're communicating and capturing that, you can communicate right back to that. You can also do other custom things such as, webhooks, if else waits. We won't get into the nitty gritties of those. If anyone's curious, Progreda has a really great support team and onboarding team that can help you navigate this portion of the tool. But just at a high level, you get your Facebook form lead mapped, and then you come in here and you want to select your Facebook as your trigger and then your actions that you want to take. The actions I typically see again are adding that contact tag and then sending that SMS and email and then sending out an internal notification to myself. I want to know when I get a lead in. I want to know where they're at in the process so you can send internal notifications to yourself or to anyone on your team. So that's it when it comes to Facebook form lead ads in Progreda. Now we're going to switch gears and talk about funnel, call to actions, landing pages. So a lot of people call them different things, but landing page and funnel, they're the same thing for those who are sort of new in this space. I'm also going to give you 1,000-foot view on funnels. You can come over here to sites on the left-hand side, funnels, and then you can start creating from blank. When you're creating from blank, there's just a few things that I want to highlight that you have capabilities to do. So automatically, you're going to see this pop-up bar. You're going to create your sections. So I want a full width section. I'm going to add a row. I just want one piece of content here. And maybe that's my headline. So, free consultation, for example. But then I also want to add in my calendar and maybe a picture of myself or, whatever the case may be. And I just added one row, my bad, hold on. See how easy that is to customize? So full width, I want to add 2 rows. I want to add an image here, maybe about myself or what I'm offering. And then maybe I just want to add in a form. I just want to grab that form and be able to grab that person's information. Obviously, there's other levels of customization here with the background, colors, fonts, all that great stuff. The one thing I do want to cover are the elements. So there's lots of different elements that you can pull into your funnel. So text, headlines, subheadlines, paragraphs, forms, calendars, buttons, blog posts, image sliders, videos, image FAQs. You can do custom coding, so JavaScript, HTML, etc. You can pull in your survey calendars, maps, reviews. The options are pretty much endless here. So get familiar with this. If you're not very familiar, go in, play around with it, build some stuff, practice. That's how you're going to get really good at building some of these things out. Okay, so this is the 1,000-foot view of a landing page. Now we're going to go look at a fully built landing page and what it looks like when we enter in our information. So here's my book your free consultation, take your service you're offering to the next level. I'm going to go ahead and do that here. We're going to pull in my info. Please don't take my cell phone. And then I'm going to hit submit. Oh, I got to accept the terms. I'm going to hit submit and it's going to take me to a booking page, but crap, I'm way too busy right now. I do not have time to schedule. I'll come back to this later. Look what's going to happen with Progreda. All right, we can see that I got an email. Don't forget to book your appointment. Put in dummy information like fitness company name. Hey, Morgan, don't forget to book your free consultation. We'll take this time to go over your needs and goals and then provide an assessment back to you. And then obviously you would want to put in your calendar link so that the person can click and book. So the perfect example how you can nurture your leads as they come through, which is why most of the time we want to start with a form first versus just the calendar. Obviously, there are multiple ways to do this. You can just go with the calendar. You could do the form in the calendar, maybe just a form, and then send, a qualifying survey through an email or text. So there's lots of different ways and steps. The best advice that I can give from the hundreds of businesses and other agencies that I've worked with and helped in the past is really just mapping out your pipeline journey. So when a lead comes through, no matter where they're coming through, what steps do they have to take in order for you to qualify them to sell to them or to provide a service or product? That right there will be the foundation for how you build out Progreda and how you move your leads seamlessly through the process. So, highly encourage, highly recommend that. And so, those are the two ways in Progreda that you can work with advertising to do lead form capture through either form filled mapping or a funnel. Awesome. Okay, fun little recap on advertising and just the benefits that advertising in general can provide as a form of lead gen capture. Moving on, we are also going. All right, so now we're going to discuss, sorry, moving on, we're going to also recap social media. So last webinar, we talked about social media. So I'm going to quickly recap that and then we'll dive into local marketing. So again, social media, there are many social networks. It can actually be very overwhelming trying to determine which ones you should be on. I feel like everyone is like, I need to be everywhere and online and every single social media network out there. But we're going to dive into some tactics that you can, a reminder of some tactics we went through last time on how to build a solid social media strategy. So some tools or some networks out there. We have Meta, again, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X or Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Threads is one as well. I also did not put YouTube on there, but YouTube is another one. Look at me forgetting one, but YouTube is also a very great social network. But these are all really great ways to organically capture leads through your social post. And actually, constant and regular posting can help with brand recognition. In fact, a study came out on TikTok. 55% of TikTok users have bought something after seeing the brand on the app. So social is a very crucial part of a business to help you generate leads. Going back to what I said a little bit earlier on, it can be overwhelming trying to determine where you should be. The best advice that I can give in that, and what I typically give others, is look at who your audience is. Based on gender and age, we know studies out there know who is typically on platforms. Facebook is usually for that older demographic. So if your audience is typically in that older, I would say 35 and up range, Facebook is probably going to be the primary place you're going to want to put all your efforts into.
Do you have the right speakers on for this computer?
Yeah, the speaker is always here. It's never.
Instagram and TikTok are primarily younger generations. I would say Instagram is sort of that young millennial, older millennial age range, predominantly female, whereas TikTok's going to be that Gen Z, very young age range. I would say algorithms per each of those are going to be different too. TikTok's algorithm really drives TikTok Shop and long form now videos. As Instagram is more of the reels, more so where businesses go to promote things, recipes. So sort of that younger female audience within Instagram. Twitter is sort of a wide range. It's really more on that political crypto Bitcoin space is what I would probably say Twitter is mainly. So if you're in that space, might be a great one to be a part of. LinkedIn, obviously that's going to be the professional side. So if your audience is more of professionals or businesses, that would be a great option. Pinterest, sort of like your Instagram, but more of like ideation of like fashion, food, travel, blogs, those natures. Threads is a new Instagram. It's sort of new out there as far as who really uses it and how important is it. I would not recommend Threads being primary for anyone right now because it is still a new platform. So keep those in mind when you start to think about where should I spend most of my time. I will disagree with most marketers out there. I don't think it's as important to be on every single network if you can't dedicate all the time and resources to that. I would much encourage you to spend all the time and effort on the platforms where you know your target audiences are on. Then future state, as you continue to grow and you have more resources and you have someone dedicated to that, then they can help you expand within those other platforms and help you even expand your market, your audience, because we know who is on each of those platforms. So that's my little spiel on that. But first, we need to understand social users. We're going to go through some stats here. So 84% are of heavy social media users are aged between 18 and 29. More than 33% of the total population in the entire world uses social media on a daily basis. That's almost half of the entire world. That's insane. That means there are millions and millions and billions of people on social media looking at businesses and content every day. And then about 151 minutes is the amount of time internet users spend on social media. That's more than 2 hours a day. I know I can be guilty of that sometimes myself. But what does this all mean? Your target audience is online. They're using social media every day. And with the market being extremely oversaturated with posts and ads, remember the attention spans of consumers are going to be decreasing day by day. So let's keep that in mind. Use those pillars, use the attention span to really help you across your advertising and social. Talk about target audience. So find out who your target audience is. A target audience is a group of people that product, service, or marketing efforts are aimed towards, usually by traits. So traits can be age, gender, income, interest, challenges, goals. Think of this almost as sort of like your demographics that you get from advertising or even metrics from social. So targeting the right audiences can help you reduce cost and increase conversion. So this is a really great play for advertising, but also a really great play for social media. We don't want to just put content out to put content out there. Quality over quantity every day when it comes to social. So next we're going to talk about call to actions to help with that. So what is a call to action, you ask? So this can help drive the user to an outside source. So it's a slight nudge for commenting on social media posts or a final call to sign up for a free trial, for example. You can even use social media call to actions to distribute gated content like downloading an ebook or white paper, checklist, etc. So here's some ideas: website, blogs, landing pages, the link tree or link in bio. If you get your audience to interact with your work, it will help you get a step closer to a higher return on investment or even conversions. So that means turning your passive viewers into active participants of your brands. Studies have shown that adding a call to action button actually increases conversion rates by 83%. That is huge. We always want to be driving some sort of action with our audience in a way that's not going to feel that we're constantly selling. So like I said, sort of those ebooks or templates, giving them value, getting them to trust, think of you as an industry expert, that brand awareness. So your call to action can garner their focus on you without intrusive salesy feeling. Nobody wants to be bombarded with buy now all over their face. We're going to go over different types of call to action. So creating a sense of urgency. This could be giveaways, exclusive content, coupled with like a limited time offer. So offering the chance to win a prize combined with a time crunch is a great way to interest viewers. Think of it as a little bit of that FOMO also. Choosing an impactful tone. So developing a strong online voice can help you choose unique call to actions that can kind of slip under the radar while still trying to drive engagement. Typically, I always say when I work with clients, we always go over their tone of voice. How do you want to be seen online? How do you want to be heard online? This is going to help us craft content pillars and craft effective copy that's going to resonate with how you want to be portrayed on social. So that is actually very important in general for social media, but really great for call to actions as well. Ask fun, polarizing questions. So you can utilize this technique to spark an opinionated conversation thread for more interaction, which is going to help you increase engagement. Algorithms love engagement. Engagements are not equally weighted, in my opinion, either. So a like is not the same as a share or a comment. The algorithm is going to throw your content out more if you have lots of likes, shares, comments, saves, and shares. Less so if you have like likes, reactions, stuff like that, because the algorithm wants to know that it's being more than just a click of a button. Someone's actually taking the time out to interact with you, or vice versa. If they're saving your content or sharing their content, it's spreading across their followers and so forth and so on. So really great technique to help increase your engagement. Use a pop culture connection. So this technique can be used with search analytics. So this can help you create call to actions relevant to certain events or interests throughout the year and capitalize on current trends with seasonal offers. I'm sure everyone saw this, but the Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, great example of pop culture connection. I know it was all over my feed on every single social network I was on. I'm sure all of you probably felt the same thing, but every brand everywhere was using Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift to connect to their brand as well. So great option if it makes sense for your brand for a call to action. Use an active voice. So this is where you can use your own slogans or taglines. This could take some testing. So if this is something you're wanting to do, you're going to want to brainstorm a few copies to help tap into that right tone and language for your brand. Examples of this is like Nike's Just Do It or the Got Milk brand are really great examples of short slogans that everyone knows. It's just recognized across the world here. Stimulate activism. So the reality, everybody feels oversaturated by ads these days. You can have core customer value, gentle sales pitch that doesn't guilt or pressure your audience. But you can take a look at your brand and find if you can offer, like a learn more coupled with like a good cause rather than moving right to sales pitch. So a lot of the times now, especially the Gen Z and those young millennials, they're really all about connecting with brands in an authentic way. So usually and mostly they want some sort of activism, political sort of stance. Now, not every brand wants to do that. I'm not saying do that, but if it makes sense for the type of product or service you're offering, this could be a very effective way to capture the right audience by letting them know that your brand cares about X, Y, and Z. Inspire to give. So this is another great way that you can inspire to give back. So what comes to mind is like Tom's, the shoe brand. For the longest time, and I believe they still do this today, is they say for every shoe you buy, we're going to give a pair of shoes to kids in third world countries, for example. So this could be a really great tactic if that's something that you're really passionate about and want that to be a core mission of your brand. And then show yourself. So show your brand values, provide quality content. The result will indirectly attribute customers to place your product above your competition because they align with your values. So a little bit back into that stimulate activism as well. Again, they want you to be authentic. They want to know who you are, what your values are, where you stand. And that's how you're going to that's how you're going to gain trust and vulnerability from your audience, is when you're vulnerable with your followers. All right, so we can use social media tactics for Progreda. So we can do direct message as a lead capture tool. So this is where we'll use automations to capture and respond to DMs automatically. So you can build an automation flow inside of Progreda to engage with users who send a DM. So strategies could be driving them to take that next step, such as like booking a call, buying a service or product from you. There's a really new one where you can say, hey, DM me the word start, more info, etc. That will trigger those automations. They'll DM or comment that word. Progreda will fire off automatic, text or email like, great, here's how to get started, or here's your free ebook, for example. So using social media to still nurture some of those leads by seeing who's actually invested in learning more about your brand or product or offer. So Progreda is a really great way to do that. And I'm going to highlight again a video of how to use Progreda for social media. Again, if you don't hear the audio, which you should now, but if you don't, let me know in the chat. All right, so let's chat about what it looks like to actually start posting and scheduling content inside of your Progreda account. So you can go into Progreda, go into the marketing tab here, and then click on Social Planner. If you have not been using this, this is the page that you're going to get. So you're going to have to connect some of your social media accounts, at least 2 of them, to get started. Once you connect them, this is what it's going to look like. So I can come in here and decide to create a new post. I can see the connect socials, total posts per day. I can open a planner, etc. So I can click on create new post. I know I'm going to want to click Facebook and Instagram. I can do a post, story, or reel here. So I can also customize for each channel. So it's very user friendly and dynamic on how you choose to create content. Now I'm going to take a step back and dive into how to do social media if you've really never done content on your own for your social channels. So I love to use Canva. Canva is a really great place to get started on creating at least static images for now, and then you can create videos and presentations as well. But let's just say I'm looking for an Instagram post. I can click on Instagram and I want to do a portrait graphic. There are already going to be templates here that you can choose from, but I'm going to show you what it looks like to create a blank Instagram post. I know for my account, if you look back, it's Soulful Health. So I'm going to be probably wanting something a little bit more health related. So I can search design templates. So I'm just going to put natural health, for example. I can start to see all the different natural health templates to kind of start with, kind of get my, brain flowing on what exactly I would want to use. Something that matches my vibe, my colors, but also something I know that's going to resonate with my audience too. So I have a younger audience, so something like this is going to be really great. It's got my boho, it's got a little bit of my colors already. So I could probably click on this, and then maybe I can say, maybe I want to post about the top 5 things to add into your diet. Maybe I want to talk about like gut health or something. So I can move that around. I can make it a little bit smaller. I can call this the ultimate gut health here. And then I can come in here and start putting down, fermented foods, for example. I can put in healthy fats, like avocados. Oops. I can put in nuts or almonds for brain health. And then again, I probably want to make that a bit smaller. I can do like omegas. So, I would probably want to do salmon, like salmon for omegas for brain development. And then maybe I want to do, vegetables for fiber and antioxidants. So I can adjust that again, make this one smaller so it looks like it's gonna fit in here. And then I can do eating healthy. I can do add soulful _health. I can add my logo or whatever the case may be. So do you see how quick that was to make changes or edits? I can also, you know, move the leaf back. I can also search up elements. Maybe I want to add in, you know, like gut health, see if there's anything, you know, graphic wise for gut health. You know, so I kind of like some of these here. I can click really on any. Let's just say I wanted to do like trust your gut. It's kind of cute. I can put that in the corner here. Obviously I wouldn't really do that, but you get the idea of like maybe how you would want to do this. So like this is like gut microbiome, so maybe I want to like really put that kind of behind here. There's lots of different ways that you can go about adding different elements. Maybe I want to do like vegetables, for example, and maybe I want to do actual photos. There's videos, shapes, if you want to do different shapes. So there's lots that you can do here to make it unique and somewhat your own. You can add in different text. So you can do like simple text here, but you can also look at these different types. So just say I wanted this type of font, I could put that in here, and then obviously I could do like gut health, for example, and change it to look like that. So really easy to edit and maneuver Canva, but that's a little bit of walkthrough. You can also upload your own or have your own branded templates here, draw projects, audio, etc. So there's a lot that you can pull in here, but let's just say this is the graphic that I want to use. So I'm going to hit share, download. I'm going to do transparent background with PNG. Actually, I'm not, because I have a cute background. I'm going to just hit download, and here it is downloaded. Now the next thing is I want a caption. I want a nice caption that's going to captivate my audience. So just like our first session last time, we kind of leveraged ChatGPT. We're going to do that again to give us some ideas of some, Instagram descriptions that we can use for gut health. So I can come over here and ask ChatGPT to give me a description. So I'm going to start typing out what I'm going to do. So just give me 1 second. All right, so you can see here that I wrote out a description. So write me an Instagram post for my soulful health business. I have a graphic explaining the 5 things you can add into your diet for ultimate gut health, fermented omegas, healthy nuts and veggies. I want to encourage / excite my followers to make these changes. I do not want a super long post, and I want the post to be engaging. So I'm going to send that there, and let's just see what happens. Great, perfect. So revitalize your digestion, transform your health. I would probably change this. That's not how I talk to my community, but great way to say, are you ready to elevate your gut health? Swipe to the left, incorporate these power pack nutrients. Why not start today? So kimchi is fermented almonds. That's that fat, or that nuts and seeds, omega for fats, etc. So are you ready to embrace? I said I wanted it engaging, so in the comments below, tag us in your gut loving creation. So this is really going to allow, like one of those call to actions that we talked about earlier. This is really going to allow you to have your followers engage with you, but also drive them to do an action, which is we want them to share what they're making. And then we have some of those hashtags again for that static post that we talked about earlier. So I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to go back into Progreda. I know that I have my copy here, so I'm just going to paste it. It's great to go. I can see the preview. I'm going to add a photo. So I'm going to add from my library, and I'm going to upload my file to it. And I'm going to select my file. It's going to come in here and upload, and then I'm going to select it here. And now I can see exactly what that looks like. Probably need to change this a little bit, but you get the gist of what Canva can do. And then what I'm going to do is either save it for later or I can schedule the post. So I'm going to schedule it maybe for Friday at around 9 a.m. and I'm going to schedule that post, and then boom, that's what it's going to look like. And you can see all of the info here. So really great way to utilize Progreda for your social media management. And then again, this is going to help you just start to plan things out and diversify some of that content. If you're not doing so already, Progreda is a great place to be doing that. All right, so recap on advertising, recap on social media, and the importance of doing organic social media. We're going to talk about the last avenue for lead gen capture, which is networking, events, word of mouth. So this is sort of the last non-digital, sort of digital way, can be more of a long-term funnel strategy. So this would look like networking events, webinars, workshops, trainings, farmers markets, trade shows, word of mouth, reputation management. So these are different ways that we can think about other avenues for capturing lead generation. Again, reminder, it's more sort of that more long-term funnel play. I would also say that this could help with a little bit more of that brand awareness and reputation within your community and surrounding areas. So first, we're going to talk about how to understand local marketing. So the importance of local visibility for small businesses. You have 46% of all searches on Google have local intent. This means that nearly half of all searches on Google are conducted by users seeking local information, such as businesses, services, or events in the areas, hours, phone numbers, etc. 97% of consumers search online to find local businesses, with 12% of consumers looking for local businesses online every single day. Lastly, we have 88% of consumers trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations. So highlighting the significance of maintaining a positive online presence for small businesses. So sort of what I said with social media of how important it is to be authentic, because reputation management is very important, sort of with advertising too. So you can start to see how really all three avenues mesh well together. We should be starting to utilize all three of them on a daily basis. Local marketing versus digital marketing. My goodness. Targets local consumers. So one key difference is that local marketing places greater emphasis on building relationships and trust within the local communities. Local consumers tend to prioritize businesses that are familiar and accessible to them. This could also involve local SEO, location-based ads, focuses on nearby customer relationships, utilizes optimized business listings, location-based targeting. So we're going to discuss some tips on how to target locally. We're going to take a look at sort of these different options here. One is Google My Business. So what is Google My Business? It's a tool provided by Google that allows businesses to manage their online presence across various Google platforms. If you do not have a Google My Business, I would highly encourage you to Google search after this, Google My Business, sign up and get one because more than 88% of consumers are searching businesses on Google. All right, how to use Google My Business. So first one is setting up and optimizing your Google My Business listing. According to Google, businesses with complete and accurate Google My Business listings are twice as likely to be considered reputable by consumers. Managing reviews and engaging with customers, kind of going back to that reputation management. 87% of consumers read online reviews for local businesses, with 48% only considering businesses with a rating of 4 stars or higher. I am a victim of that. Not a victim. I guess I'm the person doing that. I look at businesses with 4 stars or higher because I do not want to waste my time with a business who has very low ratings, because I don't want to have a negative experience. So I'm going to trust businesses that have great ratings. Utilizing posts and offers to attract local consumers. Google reports that businesses that post regular updates on their Google My Business listings receive 7 times more clicks than those who don't. That's a huge difference. So definitely be updating your Google My Business, posting, adding photos, refreshing updates like that. Lastly, I also want to say 68% of consumers said that they would be more likely to use a local business if it had a positive online reviews and recent post on its Google My Business listing. So this is another great way for those who use Google to search for everything. I would say the same effect going back also to that second lead gen capture we talked about, which is social media. A lot of younger generations now, especially Gen Z, go to social actually to look at your reputation. Is your comments usually negative? Are people saying that they're constantly having an experience or they never got their product? They will actually look at that before they go to Google. So just FYI, still think it's both to have both social media, a good reputation on social media, and a good reputation online in general. The next thing that we're going to talk about is local SEO strategies. So what is SEO? SEO also stands for search engine optimization. It's going to refer to the process of optimizing a website or online content to improve its visibility and ranking on search engine result pages. So keywords and content strategies for local SEO. So localized content attracts local traffic. Examples here. So Google My Business review, on-page signal, which has a 40% ranking impact when you have those. Long tail location specific keywords will also help boost SEO. So that would be, for example, instead of targeting for people searching bakery, you'll want to target like best bakery in whatever city you're in, or organic bakery near whatever destination landmark. That's going to yield way better results than targeting for something very broad and vague. We want to be as specific as possible. Again, going back to putting yourself in your consumer shoes, or even your shoes when you think about how you interact with buying a product, a service, or looking for something online. Typically, the way that you do it is how other people are also going to do it. So I'd encourage you to think about that moving forward. Backlinks is another one that we'll talk about. This is locally relevant or authoritative websites that can significantly impact your local search rankings. We are going to talk about how to manage local citations and NAP consistencies. Consistent NAP stands for like name, address, phone number, vital for local SEO. Backlinks from locally relevant websites can also significantly impact your rankings. A study found that link signals, including like inbound anchor text, linking domain authority, quantity of inbound links, accounted for around 29% of local PAC ranking factors. Inaccurate or inconsistent data harms local search rankings. And then 68% of consumers would stop using a local business with incorrect information. And then managing local citations to ensure accurate listing across platforms. So some strategies for acquiring local backlinks can include participating in local events, sponsorships, reaching out to local newspapers, bloggers for coverage, joining local business associations, chambers of commerce in your area, offering to contribute to guest post or articles. You could also use this for social media and do a collaborator post as well by partnering with others in your area. Or you can also hire an SEO specialist if this is sort of making your head spin. I know when I first got into the field of marketing, I was like, what the heck is all of this? And to this day, I would not say I am an SEO expert by any means, but it's also very helpful to have experts out there in the field able to help you kind of get up and running. Email marketing. So Progreda has a really great tool that's going to allow you the opportunity to create email marketing campaigns, and you can utilize tags to help segment that data. So segment your list. This is going to help you when you have certain agendas or campaigns that you want to put in front of the right people. When segmented email campaigns are utilized, they have about a 14.31% higher open rates and about over 100% higher click-through rate than marketing email campaigns that are non-segmented. Designing offers and content inside of your email marketing. Research from Experian actually found that personalized promotional emails containing local offers or references to local events generate 6 times higher transaction rates than generic emails. And then utilize local events and news. So again, this is another way that you can sort of think about that long-term strategy. So email marketing is a great way. Let's just say you go to a networking event, and within that networking event, you choose to be a sponsor of it. Most networking events always ask for sponsors. The reason why you want to be a sponsor is because at the end of the event, you get everyone's name, email address, and phone number. And you learn who they all are when you meet with them at that networking event. And what you can do after knowing, hey, out of this entire list who I met, is there anyone on that list that would benefit from my product or service? If so, this is where you'll design a segmented email list. So we don't want to throw this email list to everybody at the event. We want to make sure we're throwing it to the people who would actually benefit from a service or product that we're offering. So we can utilize an email marketing campaign to send out some generic check-in emails. You know, a great one to start with is, hey, contact first name. It was great meeting you last night. Or, hey, maybe you didn't meet everyone. You can say, hey, sorry, I may have missed you last night, but I noticed X, Y, and Z, for example, and you can kind of, again, get creative with it on how you want to target, but a really great way of how local community networking events can be extremely advantageous. Even webinars, knowing that we've been even going through this series, we're emailing you guys after every event, thanking you for coming, and then reminding you that there's something coming up next as well. So I don't throw that out to everybody in the entire world. It's usually generated towards someone very specific. All right, let's talk about collaboration. So collaboration can include a few different things. And this would be like collaborating with other businesses that offer experiences to help you create brand visibility, expand your own customer base, higher revenue growth as well. This is a great social media tactic that a lot of people are using nowadays as well. Also in the influencer space, which we'll kind of dive into a little bit later as well. You can help with expanded reach, cost savings, credibility boost, targeted audience, influencer endorsement, collaborative campaigns, and community relationships. So again, when we're partnering with local businesses, it can enhance community goodwill, foster a sense of trust, credibility among local consumers. 60% of consumers have been influenced by a social media post or a blog review when making a purchase decision. So think about all these lead gen capture conversations we've had and how each play an integral role across the board. They kind of intersect with one another. So blog review, SEO can help with that. Obviously, social media is going to help with collaborative efforts, expanding that reach there. So you can collaborate with even local influencers through sponsored content, product reviews, event partnerships, even affiliate marketing programs to help leverage their influence and expand your brand's reach within your own community. So really great, effective way to collaborate across the board. We're going to dive into also the different layers of local marketing. First one we're going to talk about is webinars. So the power of a webinar is it's going to have a wide audience reach. Webinars allow businesses to reach audience beyond the local area, breaking down those geographic barriers and enabling participation from anywhere with internet access. Today is a great example of that. I had you all introduce yourselves and tell me where you're from. So I know that a lot of you are not in Dallas. Some of you are, but not all of you are. And I'm still able to hopefully help provide you with some value and clarity on some of these. Thought leadership establishment here. So this can help, webinars can help with that and can help you establish yourself as an industry expert. Lead generation, trust, and loyalty. So a few things again, by leveraging webinar platforms, businesses can promote their products or services, or even really just value in general to a global audience, which will then hopefully help expand their reach, attract potential customers from diverse locations. And then hosting webinars on topics relevant to local marketing demonstrates expertise and thought leadership within the industry. And I see a few questions in the chat, Ed. I will get to them in just a second. We are almost done, and then we can go into Q&A, and I'll read and answer some of your questions. Workshops. Diving into workshops is another great way to utilize different forms of lead gen capture. So this is more of like your hands-on learning. So this is going to give opportunities to others to apply marketing concepts, for example, directly to their own businesses in a practical hands-on manner. Deeper understanding. So this could be through interactive exercises, case studies, group activities. Participants can gain very valuable skills and insights that can immediately implement into their local marketing strategies. Supportive environment is a great one. Collaboration and idea sharing is great for workshops. Think of webinars as more of like the you as the individual kind of speaking the entire time, giving value. Whereas a workshop is more collaborative effort. So a bunch of maybe similar individuals, or maybe it could even be businesses that you all want to partner with. So maybe you offer a core product or service, and then you want to partner with someone else that doesn't offer the exact same service, but there's still benefit to partnering with that person, gaining their audience as well. That would be a great example of partnering with a workshop with another similar brand versus a competitor to kind of help with those areas, bring in audiences and just collaborate together. Networking events. So these are really great options. This is going to allow relationship building. It's going to allow you to interact and connect with other people to help you foster relationships that can lead to partnerships, collaborations, referrals, and even business. Increased visibility. So this is going to help you get that reach again in a local setting. You can also post and help with that on social as well. Partnership discovery, market insights as well. So here are some different examples for that. I would also say when you're out networking too, engaging in conversations is also going to establish some rapport with other attendees. So again, building that trust and credibility within your own local community. It's really great. I actually started going to networking events myself not long ago. And I can tell you, I've been to a few already, and I start seeing the same people over and over again. But the benefit of that is I can start to say, okay, they're in my local community. They offer a specific service and product. I can start to build relationship with them. This is going to help with referrals. This is going to also help with, hey, I know someone who's looking for a service that you provide. And then they're going to think, oh, actually, I may know some people that needs what you provide. And so it's a lot easier for someone to refer you if they know you and have established some sort of relationship with you. So I would definitely encourage to search around your community. I'd say the best way to find that is Facebook groups. There's pretty much a Facebook group for small businesses, entrepreneurs, business owners. You just typically type in your city and, small business, entrepreneur, et cetera. You're going to start to find some groups that you can read in and join. And it's a really great way to attend networking events and start to get to know the people in your community. All right. I will also get to you. I can't remember Supernova Math Academy. I don't know your name, but I will get to you in just a second. We have one more thing to look at, and then I'll stop and we can jump into Q&A, and I'll look at your question, Ed, and then I'll get to you. Supernova. I'm going to call you Supernova, and unless you tell me your name. All right. How to use Progreda. Tanya, hopefully I'm saying that right. Thank you for that. Okay, how to use Progreda for some of these events, workshops, webinars, etc. So more of this last way to capture lead generation. All right, so how to use Progreda to help you with your local networking efforts. First and foremost, I want to stress on the integration section of Progreda. This is where you're going to be able to select and connect Google, Google My Business, your social media networks, so Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. These are all the ways that you can connect those outside factors when you are doing local initiatives such as Google My Business, and all the chats will flow into Progreda through there. So where you can find that is actually in conversations here. This is where all the conversations will flow into that. So you can either see here's like a Google My Business chat right now, a text message, etc. So this is where all of your communications will flow when you're out there doing networking and having those systems set up in place. The next area I want to talk about is email marketing. Inside of Progreda, there are email templates that you can create. These are really easy to use templates. We're just going to create a blank one real quick so that I can walk you through how to do it from scratch. I always like to grab an image and put it as my header here. And then, whatever, maybe I want to send out a newsletter every month. I can do the headers newsletter. I always like to separate my sections. I just think it's easier to edit each section of an email if you already have them in sections. But I can grab the text here and can start typing in my marketing copy here. Maybe I want to throw in a video that walks them through what I'm trying to get them to do or buy. And then I can also throw in a footer, for example. But this is a nice, easy to use email marketing template that you can use for your local initiative. So when you are capturing lead information through all the efforts that we have been talking about, this is inside of Progreda where you can start to utilize that and throw them into automations. The last thing that I want to share is we kind of talked about like SEO, Google My Business, And I shared with you a bunch of stats around when someone looks you up through those efforts, your reviews are another very important factor into their decision on whether or not they want to move forward with you in a conversation or even a purchase. So inside of Progreda, you have reputation management. This is a fantastic way to send out review requests to people that you know who have had a positive experience with you and send them out to Google to add that review. When they add that and follow that link, that review will come into Progreda. So you can see how many invites or how many invites do you want to send? How many reviews were received? What's the overall sentiment? Are you more positive than negative? Your average ratings and even trends throughout the time. You have all of your requests as well. So all the requests that you've actually sent out, you can see who's opened them, who actually added a review, and it is complete. You can also look at the reviews themselves. So this is another great way if you want to look at the review and even reply inside of Progreda. Reputation management is probably one of the more underrated features in marketing, but is also the most critical and important piece of marketing, because in today's society, and especially in those younger millennials, Gen Z generation, they are all about authenticity, and they're all about looking at your reputation. Do you have good reviews? Do you have negative comments on your social media? They really want to make sure that on paper, which would be digitally in this sense, that you look good, that there are no red flags, and that they can take that next step into digging or finding more out about your product or your service, and then choosing if they want to move forward with that. You can even see a little widget that you can create if you want to kind of make this nicer and more towards your brand. And then lastly, this is where you'll start to build out the actual review request that you want. So if you want Google, that's where you'll connect that Google My Business. Or you can set up your own custom link. You can put in your subject, when you want to send it, how many retries, however you want to design it is completely up to you. You can also do text message, and then you can do some further customization. Once you're ready to go and you're set, you can send it, and you can start monitoring and helping increase that overall reputation management. So overall, today we talked about how to use Progreda for advertising, how to use Progreda for social. Now we're looking at how to use Progreda for your local marketing initiatives. The last thing I want to talk about is we talked sort of about like workshops, webinars, etc. The best way to get people into that is through landing pages, so having them opt in to a landing page. Landing pages are a fantastic way to get people to book with you or sign up for that webinar or that workshop, for example. So we're just going to click on a random one here. And so I can tell you here, this is a webinar registration. We can click the edit button here, and we can start to see how easy it's going to be to design a webinar funnel. What you'll learn in this free presentation, registering, you have that form fill option here, and then it's good to go. I can type in my name, and I'm so excited to join this webinar. I want to make 6 figures speaking publicly, for example. I've been looking for something like this. A really simple, easy way to kind of have those local webinar workshop efforts aside from advertising and social media. When these individuals opt in, this is where you'll lean on Progreda for the automation, so that way you can nurture all those leads in the workshop. The best way, in most ways that workshops work, is offering a lot of value up front, so that way you gain the trust of the individual, and then you are on your way to making it a lot easier for them to buy your product or service. So again, lastly, I've really enjoyed this series, and I think Progreda is a fantastic way to accomplish every single route to help you leverage capturing new leads and really increasing your lead gen efforts. Alrighty, so that's the gist of lead gen capture for advertising, social media, more local digital initiatives outside of those more traditional forms of lead gen capture. So I am going to stop my screen share and we can get into some of the questions that you each have had. So I know Ed had a few of them. So let's see, there's no clear answer for that question. Depends on the where, the level of competition, the ad spend, SEO spend, frequency, the size of market. How many people could potentially be looking for what you provide? Targeting effectiveness. That's why you have to A/B test, measure response, and make adjustments along the way. Yes, I do agree with that, Ed. You do need to have some sort of analytics. I know last conversation we had with social media, I dove into a lot on analytics. I just didn't reshare that as a recap today, but I do think that is important. You do have A/B funnel testing. You can A/B funnel test sort of your ads. You can A/B funnel test your funnels in general. But I do think there are also tools out there that can help. So SEM Rush is a great one that a lot of people use to kind of help them figure out what is around them, what are their competitors around them, what's that targeting effectiveness. So I do agree with that. Okay, considering the automation opportunities and other marketing tactics, what is the general time range for any service type of the new business? 6 months, 1 year?
Hey,
When?
Morgan,
Yes.
what you just read was my answer to the question she asked right before it, so you might want to start there.
Oh, I didn't even see there was another question. My bad. Okay, let's see. By doing SEO and social media ads together, what is the time frame in your opinion to build an excellent business brand and brand awareness? Oh, okay, there you go, Ed. Yeah, Ed, that is also a great answer. I would say it really does just depend on where you're at, your competitors. How different are you? Do you target them specifically on social media, on ads? Um, but I do agree a great one is A/B test. I would also look at the analytics that you get from social media and ads. So who is actually interacting with your content? So what's that age, gender? Sometimes some networks will even give you location. So are your efforts even going into the right location if you are location-based sort of service or product there? But definitely always leverage the analytics and take those analytics and to further refine a strategy. I wouldn't necessarily say there is a great time frame, especially if you're a new business. It depends on the business that you are. There are some businesses that are very oversaturated. I would say an example of like is an apparel line. Apparel lines are very, very, very difficult to get up and running and a very fast, effective way where you're going to see a ton of ROI. It's a lot of research, analytics, refining strategy, just because everyone out there sells a shirt or a hat. You have stores all around you. So, what's going to make a consumer buy from you? And so there's different tactics that you can take. I say what I usually see dependent on the apparel line. Obviously, it's not one size fits all, but what I've seen is very effective is first that brand awareness piece. So just getting out there on social, getting it out there on ads, having some sort of way that you can connect with an audience and start to build a reputation. A lot of the times once you build a reputation and a following, they will buy from you just because they love you and they trust you. That's a really great way for apparel out there because it is such a oversaturated industry. All right, you also said considering the automation opportunities and other marketing tactics, what is the general time range for any service of a new business? 6 months, 1 year? When will ROI finally kick in? I'm just asking though if there are any kind of observations made by savvy marketers to provide some suggestions. That's also sort of depends. I think it depends on what kind of market research you've done. So within your overall industry, learn who your competitors are, learn the pricing of your competitors. Are you priced fairly? Are you priced very high? If you're priced very high, you're going to have to do a lot of brand awareness and conversation building, trust building to get someone to buy your product over a competitor who has a much cheaper product. I would say ROI is sort of dependent on the efforts that you take. Obviously, advertising is a really great way to get data back very quickly, from the experience that I've had. I usually say with advertising, if you can invest in about, $1,500 ad spend budget, the quicker most platforms is going to get your data out there fast. So that way you can start to collect the data back on who's clicking, who's the age, the audience, where are they dropping off in their journey? Do they click, go to the funnel or website and drop off immediately? Do they fill out a form? Do they fill out a form inside the ad? Sometimes you're going to have to A/B test what type of audience behavior, what does your audience like to do? I see sometimes landing pages, call to actions work very well when you're driving them to a website. Other times I've seen where no one wants to do that and they'd rather just type the, form fill option, and then we got to nurture them within a system. So that will all come down to your industry and what kind of research that you have. If you feel like you have a very good understanding of your competitors, your industry, and your own audience, and you invest in the right ways, and what I mean by that is, I'll give another example of advertising. My typical response to any of my clients when they're like, what should my cost per lead or my cost, per conversion, should be? I always say I want it to be lower than the price of your actual offer or product, because you don't want to be spending more money just to get one lead in. Now, if you have a $500 product, obviously we definitely don't want your conversion to be over 500. And there are some industry range in buckets. I always say between like $10, $30 is pretty average. If you're more of a low hanging fruit, we really want to drive that down even further. So if you can get conversions really low, you'll start to typically see some sort of ROI. It also really depends on ROI in general. So I would also say this goes further. A little bit of background on me. I don't necessarily like just to focus on marketing. I like to focus on the entire business, because ROI can be somewhat of a convoluted conversation. Yes, I can get some sort of ROI on social or even on advertising, but it's also going to come into play. ROI at the end of the day, really, most people are like, I just want profit back in my hands. I want to be able to generate a good enough income to feel comfortable, but not that's also going to play a big role in your operations. How did you factor in profit over cost if you're a product, for example? So how much time and money does it take to build one product or create one product? Did you factor that into your overall price? So if you factor time and cost of labor and the product itself, is that more than what you're selling it for? Well, if it is, you'll probably never get a large ROI or profit because you're constantly above what you're selling it for. So that's another way to think about it, is looking at the bigger picture of your entire business operation, having a really solid foundation. So that way you can go into marketing more effectively, because I always say, and I give the example is, in marketing, I can give you some sales, I can give you some leads. But at the end of the day, if you don't have great efficiencies across the board, it's not going to make the biggest difference. You're still going to have some pain. So I know that's not a great answer, but I would say definitely more than 6 months, depending on your industry. Most industries I see within the first 3 to 6 months, they're getting some sort of ROI or profit back. May not be huge, but at least we're not under or at cost or breaking even. We're starting to see a little bit come back in. I really just think it depends on industry. But Tanya, and hopefully I'm still not saying that wrong, we can always chat further about this. If you want to book a free strategy call with me, you can tell me a little bit more about your business, and I can offer some tips and tricks for you, kind of dive in deep into where you're at, and we can have that conversation. That was a very long-winded answer, but it's sort of hard to say yes or no on that per se, but I'll go ahead and also, and this goes for everyone. Yeah, free strategy calls. I'm about to throw the link in the chat as well, and we'll send it in a email and text to you after this. So I offer free strategy calls. Oh, look at you. And thank you so much. So I offer free strategy calls. There's also, for anyone who's not using Progreda, a free trial if you want to do that. Again, we'll send this to you in a text and email, but free strategy calls, it's a 30-minute conversation that you and I get to have. And really you can just tell me where any of your pain, gaps, challenges, questions are, and I'm going to help you to the best of my ability, give you some tips and strategies, give you some ideas of what you can do next, etc. there. So highly suggest booking that. If you have some questions or just want to get a better understanding if you're in the right track, I'm happy to devote some time to giving you some of that. Again, links are in the chat if you want to do either of those. And again, we'll send those out in a text and email to you after the webinar to all of you. Any other questions from anyone? I know it can kind of be, there's a lot when it comes to lead gen capture and marketing in general, but happy to answer any questions while I am here. Oops. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, well, I'm gonna let everyone go then, if no one has any other questions. It's been a pleasure talking about lead gen capture. Really love all things marketing, so here to be an asset and a resource for anyone here on the call. We'll continue these conversations, do more webinars in the future. So you'll hear from me again if you want to continue getting on these webinars and these journeys. So, but yeah, let me know if anyone has any questions. If not, hope everyone has a great rest of their night. And we'll chat soon. Bye.